Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Albandy, and I am the owner and coordinator of NORWAC, the Northwest Astrological Conference. And today I am talking with my friend and colleague, Rick Levine, about what he will be presenting at NORWAC this year. And so first, let me tell you a little bit about Rick. And he is the co-founder of Star IQ, which you can find at stariq.com. He's a founding board member and trustee of Kepler College. He is the co-author of the Barnes & Noble's Your Astrology Guide, and he did that for 8 years. For nearly 20 years, Rick's daily horoscopes reached millions of readers online. He writes mass market sun sign astrology while simultaneously stretching astrology's technical and theoretical envelopes. His DVD is Quantum Astrology, Science, Spirit, and Our Place in the Cycles of History. And every month, his teachings on YouTube are viewed by tens of thousands of people from all over the world. And his Daily Planet Pulse on Instagram and Facebook, that's where you can find his Daily Planet Pulse. He denies that time-traveling aliens have implanted microprocessors in his cerebral cortex. I forgot that was there, and that's hilarious. Welcome, Rick.
I don't always deny that.
You don't always deny it. Sometimes you admit it.
Sometimes I admit I have scars.
Oh my gosh. So Rick and I have known each other quite a long time. Dating back to, I don't know, the late 80s, I think.
30 plus years.
Yeah, absolutely. So I count Rick as a dear friend.
And back to you. You know, Laura, I began putting those little one-line crazy things in my bios maybe 15, 20 years ago, because I don't think anyone ever reads them and no one's ever commented, but that's just one of many things that I've plugged into those things and people just print them.
We do. We just plug them in. So, all right. So on Friday, by the way, the conference is happening May 27th through May 31 at the end of this month. It's coming up very quickly. You can register at www.norwac.net. You'll find the schedule. You'll find the list of speakers. You'll get everything you need there. And Rick is speaking on Friday, May 28th at 2:30 Pacific Daylight Time. So all lecture times are listed in Pacific Daylight Time. And your lecture on Friday is called Break On Through to the Other Side, Understanding the Uranus-Saturn or Saturn-Uranus Square. So I love the title, Break On Through to the Other Side. It's very descriptive. And I've always loved over the years that you have made musical references, poetic references in your titles. So tell us a bit more about the lecture itself.
Well, in a way, the planet Uranus, as you know, and as many of the viewers know, the planet Uranus is basically the planet that shatters or breaks through the boundaries of Saturn. You know, we forget, but for millennia, Saturn was the limit. It was the outward bound. It was as far as you could go. And beyond Saturn, there was nothing but the crystal sphere, the fixed stars. And when Uranus was discovered, it shattered people's awareness, because the discovery of Uranus literally broke on through to the other side, because Saturn was the limit between life and death, between here and there, between the profane and the divine, the sacred and the profane, the two universes. And so Uranus all by itself represents that shock, the suddenness, the lightning striking, and when lightning strikes for a moment, it's totally electrical and shocking. And of course, the reason why that topic is relevant is because after a year or more of intense Saturnian energy in Capricorn, where Saturn and met up with Pluto, and Saturn and met up with Jupiter, and there was this amazing super cluster of planets in Capricorn. As Saturn moved from one of its home signs, Capricorn, into its other home sign, Aquarius, it began to pick up on a square to Uranus, which is exact 3 times during 2021. The first time already occurred back in February. The next time occurs within a couple of weeks of NORWAC, middle of June. But by NORWAC, it's already like within a degree. And then it occurs a third and final time on Christmas Eve. I'm declaring that a new holiday, by the way, because so many astrological things seem to happen on Christmas Eve. On December 23rd. But the aspect actually holds all the way through the fall of 2022, even though they are not exactly perfected as a square again in 2022, they come back within a degree. And so the predominant energy of 2021 and into 2022 is basically a study in the conflict between the old and the new. And when people hold on to the old, as politically incorrect Sigmund Freud noted, there's this thing called infantile regression. We go to the past. We want to make our lives as wonderful as they were when we were at mom's breast doing nothing but being fed. I mean, that's infantile regression. When the going gets tough, we go back to our infanthood. We go back to our south node. We go back to something that ties us to the past. Well, Uranus won't have that.
No, and Saturn, and Saturn represents the known reality, and it's breaking through that. It's shattering.
And so in effect, I'm sure I will play the Doors song "Break On Through to the Other Side" during the lecture, and probably some other music, because oftentimes we astrologers spend too much time in our throat chakra and higher, and that's not a lot of relative space compared to the rest of the universe. And so music or anything that gets people into their bodies during a lecture or during astrology talks, I think, is helpful. But the bottom line is this: this year is basically a conflict between the old and the new, between the Saturnian hold on to the past, the status quo, infantile regression, it was once good, let's make it good again, versus progressive, revolutionary, radical Uranus that's pushing us into the future. We'll look at some history around it, and we'll look at some of the mythology, but it's pretty straightforward because that is the theme of the year, and we already see it as an underlying theme, not just politically, but socially, relationship wise, medically. I mean, it's just all over the place, and it won't give up until probably a year and a half down the road.
Well, that's exciting.
You think so? Yeah, sometimes I think I'm done with the word excitement.
Right. Yes. I want to say we've had enough, but clearly we haven't. So
clearly we haven't.
Yeah, clearly. So on Sunday, May 30th, also at 2:30 Pacific Daylight Time, you are doing a lecture on how to write and market horoscope columns. And of course, from my perspective, you have, and of course, probably from your own, you've had more than enough experience to teach this lecture. You spent any number of years making that a daily practice for your work. So
I wrote 1,200 words a day, 7 days a week for 17 years. And then 8 of those years, while writing the Barnes and Noble books, I was writing another 150,000 words a year. And so I've written well over 8 million words writing horoscopes over the years. And basically my view is this: whether or not you write a daily horoscope, the art of putting astrology into language is something that is very basic to what we as astrologers do, whether we do it in writing or even if we do it verbally. I mean, these days, there's a lot of people who are doing daily or weekly podcasts or YouTube, YouTube videos. Um, and it's still the same skills as it takes to write a horoscope. And so I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive, not only on the mechanics of how I write horoscopes, but this is something I've discussed with astrologers regularly. Some of the, best astrology writers in the world. I would, on a good day, include myself in that group, but there are many really competent astrologers writing horoscopes, and styles are very wide and different. The class will consist of looking at a variety of these styles and analyzing what they accomplish and what they don't, and why we even bother writing a horoscope column, and how you actually do it, and what are the mechanics of it, and a deep dive into that. But also, then once you've written it, what do you do with it? And so, so this will be basically a two-prong attack, basically half on the actual art of writing horoscopes. And I would like to think I have it developed to a high level of skill, craft, and art. But there are many different ways of approaching it, and we'll explore those different ways. And then we'll talk about, all right, so how do we market it? How do we use that to either develop our brand, or to bring us new clients, or to bring us new students? What are the goals? Why would we want to bother doing this? And remember, writing horoscopes doesn't have to be as insane as writing something every day, which I still do, as you noted. It goes on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm down to maybe 200 to 300 words a day, whereas I was doing when I was writing for all the signs, which I don't anymore. I was writing about 1,200 words a day in my horoscope.
That just makes my head hurt thinking about it. So I'm glad there are folks like you who have been doing that, so that I don't have to. I do other things. That's great.
You do.
So,
and I love Chris Brennan's line, for which, as we know, Chris has done some really wonderful work in astrology. But as far as I'm concerned, he earned his place in astrology forever by noting that sun sign astrology was the gateway drug to real astrology.
it is.
And so from that standpoint, those of us who have delved into the realm, those of us who are technical and competent horoscopic astrologers who have dealt into the public domain realm of writing sun sign horoscope-like columns, we are the people that most people have their first taste of astrology.
Correct.
Through that. And
Yeah.
so it really is quite a significant and important job. It's a job I never took lightly. And it was one of the reasons for my success at the height of when I was writing those with, for Tarot.com. Those were daily on Google when they were doing content, Yahoo, AOL, MySpace, LA Times. I mean, and there were upwards to 20 million readers a day on those things.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I'm glad that you're resting from that and pass the mantle on and the baton on to others to take that up. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with me today. We both have busy schedules, and I wanted to make sure that we created time for this. And those of you who, again, want to listen to Rick along with a vast variety of other very talented lecturers and astrologers, go to www.norwac.net and learn all you can about the conference. You'll see the speakers, the schedule, and the register button. You can also order audio. So
and I can't wait. I'm interrupting you to tell you that I can't wait to NORWAC. As I've said to you off camera before, I've attended way over my fair share of virtual conferences over the last year, and I spend a lot of time on Zoom, and you guys did something right. I mean, there are many conferences that have been cool, okay, but what NORWAC did, what you did, and how you approached it, and obviously we're not going to talk about that right now. It's just people need to know that NORWAC is not just another conference. It never has been. And it's not just another virtual or online conference. It never can be. So you're
thank
awesome.
you.
Hats off to you. And I
Thank
hope to see a lot of my friends and enemies. I don't know.
Well, we'll see you there.